To our weekly competition. WOWK is proud to present this program to recognize and to help stimulate scholastic achievement and to focus on the positive action of today's youth. In today's game, St. Joe Central High School meets Johnson Central High School. So let's get started and meet today's teams. First, the varsity scholars from St. Joe Central, Ironton, Ohio.
Trisha Lutz, Jr.
Joe Jones, Jr.
Jenny Parkin, Jr. Molly Brown, freshman.
That's the team from St. Joe, and now let's meet the varsity scholars from Johnson Central, Paintsville, Kentucky.
Kelly Webb, Sr.
Scott Blanton, Sr.
Elias Cromington, Sr.
Marguerite Webb, Sr.
And now let's meet the coaches who devote their time and energies to preparing their teams. First, from St. Joe Central High is Joan Simon, a science teacher at the high school. And from Johnson Central High is Melinda Call, an English and creative writing teacher at the school. Thanks, coaches, and good luck in today's match. And we'll be back to start the game right after this. All right, are both teams ready? There's the whistle to begin the first half. We're playing for a 25-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. Although a perfect one's never been obtained, ion pumps and cryogenic pumps have come close. For 10 points, close to creating what?
St. Joe Jones.
Suspended animation.
Not suspended animation, Johnson Central. But he's poised. It's a vacuum. Here's your next toss-up. Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, and Jamaica. For 10 points, which of these nations entered the United Nations first?
St. Joe Brown.
Jamaica.
Not Jamaica, Johnson Central.
Johnson Central Blanton.
Zimbabwe.
No, it was Afghanistan. Here's your next toss-up. Walter Ulbricht was a communist leader in Germany who exiled himself to ally with the Soviets, returning with them to power in 1945. For 10 points, for what piece of construction is Ulbricht best known? The answer is the Berlin Wall. Here's your next toss-up, still playing for that 25-point bonus. You'll need your pencils and paper for this calculation. It's a Troy weight calculation. In the Troy weight system, used to weigh gold, silver, and precious gems, there are 24 grains in a pennyweight. For 10 points, if there are 20 pennyweights to a Troy ounce, how many grains are there in one 12-ounce Troy pound?
St. Joe Jones.
480.
No, Johnson Central. Venture a guess? It was 5,760. What we had is 12 ounces times 20 pennyweights ounce times 24 grains of pennyweight. Toss-up. Kenneth Millar is a best-selling California-born author whose novels include The Chill and The Goodbye Look. Now, the name's not familiar? Well, for 10 points, what's the more famous pseudonym of this creator of the Lou Archer detective novels? That would be Ross MacDonald. Here's your next toss-up. If you sailed on a course east from the East Siberian Sea, past Wrangel Island and Cape Dezhnev, for 10 points, which nation would you quickly cite? The United States. Jacques Garneron proved them feasible in 1797, falling nearly half a mile in one and living to tell. For 10 points, what invention had he demonstrated?
Johnson Blanton.
Parachute.
Parachute is right, and we're on the board now. And here's your chance for that 25-point bonus. Over the past century, the atmospheric content of carbon dioxide has increased by 10%, an alarming statistic. Some experts predict a gradual warming of the climate. For 20 points, what's this phenomenon commonly called?
The greenhouse effect.
The greenhouse effect is right for 25 points. Here's your next toss-up. We're playing now for a 30-point bonus. His best works include Hair, Sticks and Bones, and a chorus line. For 10 points, name this director, producer. Joseph Papp. Here's your next toss-up. This lustrous, corrosion-resistant silver-white metal has the ability to absorb hydrogen and is commercially in low-current contacts, jewelry, and dentistry. For 10 points, identify this element discovered in 1803 by William Wollaston.
After the bell.
After the bell, it was palladium. Here's your next toss-up. Warren Beatty played him in the movies, and in real life, he wrote 10 Days That Shook the World. For 10 points, name this American journalist buried at the Kremlin. John Reed. Here's your next toss-up. The ancient Assyrians and Babylonians made inscriptions using wedge-shaped cuneiform letters. For 10 points, spell cuneiform. Nobody wanted to take a shot at Cuneiform. Here's your next toss-up. We're playing for a 30-point bonus. We've got a couple of minutes left in the round. As in Rummy, the object is to build sets. But in this game, instead of cards, there are 152 tiles. For 10 points, what is this game of Chinese origin?
Johnson, Blanton.
Dominoes.
Not dominoes, St. Joe Central. No mahjong players on the panel, I suppose. All right, here we go with another toss-up. A polio victim since age 4, this master musician gave his first solo recital at age 10. His first American television performance 3 years later. For 10 points, name this Israeli violin virtuoso.
St. Joe, Plonkin.
Pavarotti.
No, not Pavarotti. Johnson Central. Itzhak Perlman. Okay, we've got just a little over a minute in this round. Here's your toss-up. He led a revolution that made him president, then was overthrown by Idi Amin. For 10 points, who was and is once again president of Uganda? Milton Obote. Here's your next toss-up. Cold doth not sting. The pretty birds do sing. For 10 points, what type of scan does this Thomas Nash line exhibit? Pentameter, or iambic pentameter, we could have accepted. Here's your next toss-up. Although on the equator, the Peru current gives them a cold and dry climate. The diverse wildlife, including marine iguanas, flightless cormorants, and land tortoises, spurred the work of the visiting Darwin. For 10 points, identify these islands.
Johnson Central, or Premudan.
Galapagos.
Galapagos Islands is right. Here's your chance for the bonus now. 25 years ago, at the opening of the U.S. exhibition in Moscow, two leaders faced off in an American model ranch house in what has come to be known as the historic kitchen debate. For 15 points apiece, name the two leaders.
Khrushchev.
All right, we were looking for Khrushchev and Nixon. You did get Khrushchev for 15 points. Here's your next toss-up. We're playing. There's the end of the first half of play. We'll validate the score and be back to talk to our teams in just a minute. Validated the score, and at the half, we find Johnson Central in the lead, 60-0. But then again, team, these were tough questions, so good luck in the second half. Now, each week during the High Q halftime, we like to find out a little bit about each school. Here to tell us about Ironton St. Joe Central is team alternate Monica Abler.
We consider ourselves fortunate to have the opportunity to participate in Quiz Bowl competition. An abundance of opportunities reveal themselves in the many scholastic, spiritual, social, and athletic activities taking place at St. Joseph Central High School located in Ironton, Ohio. In addition to the 46 course offerings, other scholastic opportunities include the Ohio Tests of Scholastic Achievement and Marshall University's Scores Tests. A high percentage of our students participate in the science fair preparing objects for display. All students at St. Joseph's have the opportunity to attend Mass, and some are involved either through participation in the vocal choir or by playing musical instruments. A variety of clubs and social groups is also available to the student body. A variety show featuring the talents of most of the students is performed yearly before the public. The Care About People Club is designed to give the students the opportunity to serve the community through Christian service. St. Joseph is proud of the fact that it is the smallest school in Ohio sponsoring a varsity football team. Over half the males of St. Joseph Central are members of the team, with 80% of all students participating in some form of interscholastic sports. We feel that our small school population gives each student a chance to use his talents and to have the opportunity to grow scholastically, spiritually, socially, and athletically.
Thank you, Monica, for telling us about St. Joe Central. And now here to tell us about Johnson Central in Paintsville is that team's alternate, Elbert Walters.
Johnson County High Schools consolidated in the fall of 1968 to form Johnson Central High School. Johnson Central High School offers 138 course offerings in 3 tracks, general, vocational, and college preparatory, to a population of 1,269 students. Johnson Central High School is located in Paintsville, Kentucky, which is renowned for its Kentucky Apple Festival held every October.
Albert, for telling us about Johnson Central. Well, teams, we're about to begin the second half. Remember that when the whistle blows at the end of this half, that's the end of the game. If it blows while I'm asking a question, then that's it. But if it blows while you're answering a question, in the process of answering, you'll have a chance to answer that part of the question. And the team that's ahead when the final whistle blows wins the game. Good luck, teams. There's the whistle to begin the second half. We're playing for a 20-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. Sparked in part by Sputnik, this civilian agency was created in October 1958. For 10 points, identify this airline of choice.
Johnson Central, Blanton.
NASA.
NASA is right. The rest of the question said airline of choice for extraterrestrial adventures. I like that. All right, here's your chance for your 20-point bonus. Now, it was the first gold medal ever for the United States in cycling, and gloriously, we took the silver as well. For 10 points apiece, name the winner and runner-up in the 1984 Summer Olympics women's 79-kilometer road race. That was Connie Carpenter and Rebecca Twiggy. Here's your next toss-up. We're playing for a 30-point bonus. When the NAACP was formed in 1910, it merged with a group following W.E.B. Du Bois. For 10 points, identify that group of freedom fighters.
Johnson Central at Crumudan.
Mudbags.
No? St. Joe, can you take it? The Nicaragua movement. I wouldn't have gotten that name through. Here's your next toss-up. Robert Redford plays a baseball player given a second chance in The Natural. But his upbeat ending is not by the book. For 10 points, who wrote the book? Bernard Malamud is who we were looking for. Here's your next toss-up. This Cincinnati-born newspaper publisher bought a failing New York paper in 1896 and turned it into one of the world's greatest. For 10 points, who made the Times? The Times. We're looking for Adolph S. Ox. Toss-up. Its second line is my home and native land. For 10 points, give me the 2-word first line of this national anthem. We were looking for O Canada, my home and native land. It's a pretty song. Here's your next toss-up. Henry Fonda starred in the title role, but Jack Lemmon won the Oscar in the supporting role of Ensign Pulver. For 10 points, identify this 1954 seagoing film. Looking for Mr. Roberts. Here's your next toss-up. We're still playing for that 30-point bonus. We have about 4.5 minutes left. Johnson Central leads 70-0. His third play established him as France's leading playwright, displacing Corneille. For 10 points, name this author of Andromache and Phaedra. We're looking for Jean Racine. Here's your next toss-up. Awake and Sing, he wrote. For 10 points, who was also waiting for Lefty. That would be Clifford Odets. Here's your next toss-up. Voice of the Cosmos, extraterrestrial enthusiast. This scientist won the
Johnson Central at Crumudan.
Carl Sagan is right. And here we go now for a chance at your 30-point bonus. You'll earn 30 points if you identify this organization with 1 clue. 20 points if you need 2, and 10 points if you need all 3 clues. Here's your first clue for 30 points. Its ideals include fellowship, religious toleration, and political compromise. Answer. All right, here's your second clue for 20 points. Voltaire, Goethe, Haydn, and Garibaldi were all members. All right, here's your third clue. Though a secretive organization, they are currently 6 million members worldwide. We were looking for Freemasonry, or the Masons. We would have accepted the Masons. Here's your next toss-up. 2 operations to remove a head and an arm, both replaced. So might read a 20-year medical report. For 10 points, for what Copenhagen statue? That was the Little Mermaid. Here's your next toss-up. This 11th century power lord seized the Scottish throne by killing Duncan in battle. For 10 points, name this celebrated king of Scotland. Macbeth. Here's your next toss-up. Get this straight, and you'll earn 10 points. The Strait of Juan de Fuca may not be familiar, but it separates 2 familiar nations. For 10 points, which 2? It would be the United States and Canada. It's between the state of Washington and Vancouver Island. Here's your next toss-up. Said the co-leader of their discovery, it could be a funny Higgs, a non-standard Higgs. For 10 points, what form of matter is a Higgs? And the newly discovered zeta. We were looking for subatomic particles, or bosons. We could have accepted that. Here's your next toss-up, still playing for the 25-point bonus. Although similar in technique to Rubens, this 17th century master worked in a style more restrained in color and form. For 10 points, name this Flemish portraitist, court painter to England's Charles I. We were looking for Anthony Van Dyck. Here's your next toss-up. The first stopped the German race to the seas. The second marked the debut of poison gas, and again the Germans lost. But in the third, the British made little headway while losing 300,000 men. For 10 points, by what collective name do we know these World War I battles?
St. Joe Jones.
Battle of the Marne.
No. Johnson Central.
Johnson Central. Webb.
Cold Wars?
No. Ypres. Y-P-R-E-S. It's in southwest Belgium. Here's your next toss-up. We're still playing for that 25-point bonus. Well, that's the end of the game. We'll be back to announce our winners right after this. Score, Johnson Central 80, Ironton St. Joe 0. So Johnson Central, you are the winner of today's competition. You advance to the next round of competition and will meet a new opponent in about 6 weeks or so. Next week, High-Q will feature Raceland High School of Raceland, Kentucky and Calhoun County of Grantsville, West Virginia in another exciting match. Until then, for all the staff here on High-Q, we wish you happy holidays and join us next week.
Watching the Tri-State's most outstanding high school students in the fast-moving varsity sport of mine. High-Q, brought to you in part by Ashland Oil, Ashland's America, where quality education is an investment we've got to make. And by Marshall University. Whether you're 18 or 80, Marshall has something for you. For High-Q, I'm J.B. Miller.